welcome to your Saturday morning intermediate class. Today's theme, we are going to be working with shoulder openers and back strengtheners, and we are going to be using a few props today. We will be using 2 blocks and a yoga strap. If you don't have these things at home, in place of a block, you can go ahead and grab a stack of books about 6 inches high, same height as the medium height of your block. And if you don't have a strap at home, then I would go ahead and just grab a bath towel. Make sure it's not the smallest bath towel that you own. You're going to want a little bit of length on the strap later. So I'll go ahead and give you a minute to go grab those, and then we'll get started. Okay. So you can set your strap or your towel to the side. Make sure that you have your blocks or books handy. And we're going to go ahead and start in child's pose today. So your first child's pose, your knees, they can be close together or they can be wider apart. Just pick the variation that's the most comfortable for you. And sink your hips to your heels. Stretch the arms out long in front of you and bring your forehead down to the mat. Few deep breaths here. Feeling the back of your rib cage expand on the inhale. And then collapse away on the exhale. Notice the sensation of the yoga mat underneath your palms. And the heaviness in your hips and your forearms. So staying nice and low, we're going to start to walk the hands on the floor out over to the left until you feel a stretch down your right side body. And I'd like you to go ahead and send the breath into those left side ribs here. Into the ribs, underneath the armpit. Stretching nice and easy. Walk the hands over to the opposite side. Breathe deeply down the left side of the body. Come back through the center. And make your way up to hands and knees. If the knees were wide apart, let's go ahead and bring them underneath the hips so they're nice and neutral. And we're going to take our block or stack of books and place it underneath the right elbow here. So the left elbow is going to come down to the floor, and this right elbow is going to come right here, kind of towards the far edge of your block or your books. Left elbow goes on the opposite side. Hands together at prayer, and we're going to exhale, sit back into child's pose once more. Now you might not go quite as far here. You'll notice my hips aren't touching all the way. That's quite all right. So as you sink the hips down, take these prayer hands and bring them to the base of your neck. You should feel a nice stretch under that right armpit here. Take a few breaths in this stillness. Inhale, float back up to hands and knees. And now let's switch this stack of books so it comes underneath the left elbow, right elbow onto the earth. Hands together at prayer, they're floating up. And then exhale, sink the hips down, the forehead down. And if it's available to you, these hands are going to come back towards the nape of the neck. Inhale back up to hands and knees. And this time we're going to use both blocks or both stacks of books so that we have some elevation underneath both of our elbows. All right. One elbow on each block, hands at prayer. And then sink those hips down, forehead to the earth. You might need to bring your knees a little closer to your blocks. And then bring the fingertips back to the neck. Now the reason I chose shoulder openers and back strengtheners this morning is because I've been doing a lot of working from home, looking at a computer screen, slunched over a keyboard, constantly checking the news on my phone, a lot of head forward posture. So we're doing a flow today to sort of counter a lot of those actions and balance our body back out. As you inhale, float back up to hands and knees. We're going to set our blocks and our books off to the side. And then we're going to come back into a tabletop position. So knees stacked underneath the hips, hands stacked underneath the shoulders. We'll take a few cat-cows here. As you inhale, lift the head and the tailbone up to the sky. As you exhale, arch the spine, tucking your head in your tail. A few at your own pace. Yeah, so as we start to move more, really sinking that breath a little bit more with the movements. The top of the inhale, spreading the collarbones. And at the bottom of the exhale, pulling the biceps in towards each other, accentuating that stretch. On your next inhale, come back to a nice neutral flat spine. As you inhale, extend the right leg long behind you, so you're reaching back through this right heel. And then as you inhale, float the left fingertips off the mat so that we're in spinal balance. Left fingertips reach towards the wall in front of you, and that right heel reaches out behind, abdomen hugged in. Very nice. As you exhale, draw the knee and the elbow in towards each other, and as you inhale, extend them long. Exhale, knee draws into the elbow. Inhale, long. Exhale, knee into the elbow. Inhale, long. Exhale, knee into the elbow. Let's inhale long once more. Now keep that back foot lifted. You can stay right here if you want. If you'd like a little more challenge, this left arm can reach around for that back right ankle. And you can send the foot back up to the sky, lifting through the heart. Inhale, extend long once more. This time just the hand is going to come down to the earth. If these back toes aren't already curled under, curl them under now. Push through the back toes, and as you exhale, lift up into your three-legged dog. 2 breaths here. And then the next big exhale draws this lifted leg through so that the foot plants between the hands. Back heel spirals down to meet the earth, and as you inhale, float up for a warrior 1. Arms reaching up to the sky. Nice healthy bend in this front knee. left elbow underneath the right, twisting the arms here into eagle arms. As you inhale, lift up and arch through your back so your fingertips are lifting up, your heart is opening to the sky. And as you exhale, take a bow. Inhale, lift up, fingertips reaching up, heart opening. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, float up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, float up once more. Unwind the arms, straighten this front leg. You've got two options for your hands here. You can either take a hold of opposite elbows behind your back, or if it's available to you, you might take reverse prayer hands. And as you exhale, hinge forward at the hips, bowing over this front leg for pyramid pose. Right hip hugging back into the socket, left hip drawing forward so the hips stay square. Then bend the front knee as you inhale back up into warrior one. Lift the back heel, bring the hands back down to the earth. Inhale, step back up into three-legged dog. Exhale, release the knee down to the earth, followed by the right knee. Exhale, sink the hips to the heels for a child's pose. Inhale, float back up to hands and knees. We'll work the opposite side now, stretching the left leg long behind you. Right fingertips reach forward to the front of the room. As you exhale, knee draws into elbow. Inhale, long. Exhale, knee to the elbow. Inhale, long. Exhale, knee to the elbow. Inhale, long. And then once again, this is a great stopping point right here. If you want to add a little more work, this right hand is going to reach around for that back left ankle. Yeah. And then press that foot into the palm of the hand, lifting up, heart open wide. Inhale, extend long into spinal balance. Set the right hand down, curl the right toes under. Exhale, push up into three-legged dog. 2 breaths here. And then as you exhale, draw the left knee in towards the chest, planting the foot in between the hands. Back heel to earth, rise up, warrior one. Nice. So eagle arms on this side, right elbow tucking underneath the left. Intertwine those arms. Make sure that the front knee stays bent as you move through these. As you inhale, lift the hands, lift the heart, arch in the back. Exhale, bow down towards that front knee. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bow down once more. Inhale, rise on up. Straighten that front knee, unwind the arms. This back foot can come forward just a little bit as we set up for pyramid here. Make sure that the left hip comes back, right hip forward, so we're nice and square in the hips. Take your opposite elbows, or maybe your prayer hands. And as you exhale, you're sending the heart forward at the same time you're sending the tailbone back. All right, so tailbone back, heart forward. Spine getting long in 2 directions. Bend the front knee, release the arms. Warrior 1, lift that back heel for your crescent. Exhale, hands to the earth. Inhale, step back to 3-legged dog, lifting that left foot up to the sky. Exhale, drop the right knee, followed by the left, and send the hips to the heels, child's pose. 2 breaths here. And then from child's pose, inhale back up to hands and knees. Curl both toes under, and this time as you exhale, let's push up to our regular downward facing dog. As you inhale, look up at the space in between your hands. On the exhale, let your feet travel to the hands so that you're back in a forward fold. I don't know why I said back. This is our first forward fold today. So if your feet are together, heel toe them a little bit apart, about as wide apart as your hips. And then let's take our fingers, interlace them here at the base of the neck, so your elbows are out to the sides. And then just let your arms go heavy, so that they're gently pulling down on the head and the neck. Right? So it's lengthening out the muscles of the back. You're not pulling, you're just giving the dead weight of your arms. Nice. Exhale, fingertips to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release. And then inhale, rise up to stand, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. And arms by the sides, Tadasana. Inhale, arms up, eyes up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Press down into your feet. We're going to inhale, rise up once more. Fingertips reaching up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms up, eyes up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. This time as you inhale, step back to plank, the top of your push-up. Exhale, lower all the way down. Yeah, we're going to practice a few cobras here. Let the toenails press down into the earth. As you inhale, lift just your heart. So your arms should not be doing much here. It should all be your back lifting the heart up. Elbows hug in towards each other. Yeah. Exhale, release. Inhale up for a second cobra. Yep, see how my feet are not lifted? The feet are pressing down, so the thighs might lift a little bit. But the toes are still making contact with the earth. Exhale, release. And then one more cobra. Inhale, float up. Hands so light, it's really just your back lifting you up. Exhale, down. Inhale, back up to plank. And then use the muscles of your lower abdomen to send the hips up to the sky, downward facing dog. Nice. So from this down dog, you're going to walk the feet close together. So the roots of the big toes are touching. As you inhale, lift the right leg up off the earth. So this is three-legged dog again. Toes point down towards the mat. Then as you exhale, draw this right knee forward to the right elbow, but the foot and the shin still hover off the earth. Inhale, lift the leg long. Exhale the right knee across the body to the left elbow. Inhale the leg long. And then exhale the foot all the way through to plant between the hands. Back heel reaches the earth. So you've got warrior two legs. And as you inhale, rise up for warrior two. Nice. So make sure this bend in the front knee is going out towards your smallest toe. Check in with your rib cage. We don't want it to be reaching forward yet. We want the rib cage sitting right over the hips, up and down. Yeah, so you feel a crease here in this back hip. Torso is open towards the side of your mat, arms are long. And the gaze is out over that front ring finger. As you inhale, now we're going to stretch long. So now the torso comes out over the front knee. As you exhale, bring this front arm down to the bent knee, right? So the forearm rests on the thigh. This left arm is going to reach straight up to the sky. Now as you inhale, start to reach this arm overhead. So the bicep is coming over the ear. And the fingertips are reaching towards that wall in front of you. Yeah, but the torso is still rotating up to the sky. Now as you exhale, start to sweep this arm down in front of you like a big circle. Inhale, arm overhead. Exhale completes the circle. Yeah, a few more big arm circles like this. Now, if your shoulder is really not having this, your other option, of course, is to just bend the elbow. Rest the hand here down at the small of your back. But if everything's healthy, then just keep enjoying this range of motion. And then next time the arm is straight overhead, pause, press through the back foot as you inhale, float up to stand. Keep that front knee straight, back hand to back thigh. Opposite arm to sky, this is reverse triangle. Inhale, come back up to stand. Turn both of your toes to face the long edge of your mat, so your feet are parallel to each other now. This is going to be a wide-legged forward fold, right? So take the hands, interlace the fingers behind you here in Venus Mudra. All right, so the fingers are interlaced, the arms are long. As you inhale, lift the heart, and then exhale, let the fold come from the hips. Yeah. Yeah, now once you're down, you can experiment with lifting the clasped hands up off the hips, right, overhead towards the sky. And if you're feeling the stretch here primarily in your elbows, I'm going to ask you to put a little bend in the elbow there, which will redirect the stretch into the shoulders. As you exhale, release the fingertips down to the earth. Start to walk the hands over to the front edge of the yoga mat. So you're coming back into a low lunge with the hands on the mat. Yeah, step that right foot back to plank, top of the push-up. And as you exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale the heart up for a cobra. Exhale, release. for cobra again. Exhale down. Inhale up for a third cobra. Exhale, release. And then inhale back up to plank. And exhale, hips to sky, down dog. So opposite side, we're going to walk the roots of the big toes together once again. Inhale, lift that left leg up off the earth. Hold your three-legged dog here. And then exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale the leg long. Exhale, left knee across the body, right elbow. Inhale the leg long. And then exhale the foot all the way through to plant between the hands, back heel to the earth. Inhale up, warrior two, opposite side. Let's turn our palms face up for this one. Introduce a little softness into the shoulders here, since we're working them pretty hard today. And then inhale, stretch forward, lengthening in the torso. Exhale into your extended right angle. Ooh, good stretch. So once again, if your shoulders are hurting, let's go ahead and bend that top arm. Hand on the small of the back. You can hang out here. Everybody else, as you inhale, stretch. Arm long out in front of you. And then exhale. Take some nice big arm circles. Moving with the breath. Aware not just of your shoulder, but aware of your hips. Aware of the weight in your back foot. Aware of the position of your head and your neck. And then next time the arm is overhead, press through that back foot as you inhale. Rise up, stand, straighten the front knee. Back arm to back thigh, opposite arm to sky, reverse triangle. Inhale, rise up to stand. Set up for another wide-legged forward fold. So both of your toes pointing towards the long edge of your mat. Take your arms in Venus Mudra once again. So interlacing the fingertips. And then take these clasped hands, bend at the elbows, place them here on your right hip. And then imagine that your elbows have magnets on them, and they're drawing in towards each other. As they draw in, you should feel a fantastic stretch across your shoulders and your chest. All that time spent hunched over your phone, your computer. Moving now in the opposite direction. Go ahead and release. Bring the hands back through the center. And now we're going to set the hands on the left hip and draw the elbows in towards each other here. Release the hands, bring the hands to the hips here. Inhale, lift the heart up, and exhale, hinge forward at the hips. And let's just go ahead and release our arms down. Let the head and the neck hang heavy. walk your fingertips towards the front of your mat, coming back into another low lunge. Step the front foot back to plank, top of the push-up. As you exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale up, let's just take one cobra this time. Exhale, release. Inhale up to plank. And then exhale, your choice, child's pose or downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. If you're not already in down dog, let's go ahead and meet up in down dog now. And then as you inhale, look up at the space in between your hands. Exhale, feet travel to the hands for a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer. Now release the arms down by the sides. Now is where we're going to use our strap or our towel. So, I'm going to demonstrate with a towel since it's a little more complicated. Take opposite corners of your towel here, yeah, and go ahead and spin it around a couple times until you have a makeshift yoga strap. Those of you with a strap, just use your strap. Okay. So, we're going to start, this is a balancing pose. So we're going to start by planting our left foot on the mat and stepping our right foot into the strap. Right? As you inhale, right, take this left foot and step it through. Right? So the strap is now on your foot behind you. Wait, nope, I did it wrong. Start over. Okay. Your right foot's in the strap, your left foot is on the floor. Cross the edges of your strap like this. Yep, so it makes a little basket for your foot there. And then step the left foot through, right? Okay. Yep. So hinge forward so that you're coming to balance on this left foot. Begin to lift the right foot up behind you, right? Notice your shoulders and your arms are turning out. This is Royal Dancer. So you can hang out right here, yeah, with the arms out by the sides. Those of you that are a little more open may want to lift the arms up and overhead, elbows up to the sky. All right, so you get a deeper stretch. Now the one thing we don't want in Royal Dancer, we don't want to be collapsing forward. We want to be lifting the heart up, opening the heart. So you can hinge forward as you lift up at the hips. You don't want to collapse your whole torso. For 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release down just the way you came up. And shake both your feet out. So this time the left foot is coming in the strap. Right foot is planting. Cross your towel over first. Step the right foot through. Then keep that right foot planted as the left one reaches up. Yeah. Notice how your hands and your elbows turn out. And you can stay right here, or some of you may like to bring the arms and the elbows overhead. Royal Dancer, opposite side. Exhale, release on out of your pose. You can go ahead and set your strap to the side. We're done using it for this morning. We're going to come back up to the top of the mat and take another sun salutation. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, back to plank. Top of the push-up. And exhale, lower all the way down. As you inhale, lift the heart, cobra. And then exhale, release on down. We're going to pause for just a moment here. You can take your hands out in front of you, make a little pillow for your head. And we'll rest in alligator pose for just a few breaths. So from here, we're going to use our hands to cup the elbows. And walk the elbows back towards the body so that they come directly underneath your shoulders. Now the reason you're cupping your elbows here, that's your measurement for where the elbows come directly under the shoulders. Because you don't want them too wide here. All right, you want them right under the shoulders. And then we're going to bring the forearms flat onto the earth, palms pressing down into the mat. Curl your back toes under. And as you inhale, float your hips up off the earth for a low plank. Yeah. So shoulders away from the ears, feeling strength at the base of the rib cage. And then exhale, lower first your knees, and then your chest. And then lower all the way down onto the earth once again. So this time we're going to stretch our arms out long in front of us. As you inhale, lift your left leg and your right arm. Now I prefer to look down at the ground, maybe a couple inches out in front of me. If you look up and out across the room, you're going to strain your neck. So make sure that your gaze stays down here. Keeping the neck in line with the rest of the spine. As you exhale, release it down. And then inhale, lift the left arm and the right leg. Exhale, release. This time as you inhale, both legs stay down, but both arms lift up. And then exhale, release the arms down. Keep the forehead planted on the mat for this one. Both arms stay planted, both legs lift up. You can even bend the knees a little to get slightly more lift. Exhale, release. And then for our final locust, we're going to inhale, lift everything up off the earth. Both legs, both arms, head, heart. And exhale, release down. We're going to rest in crocodile once again. So turn your head to rest on the opposite cheek that you were resting on before. Bend at your knees here so the soles of the feet come up to the sky. And then take some gentle windshield wipers with the shins, massaging out your lower back. and release the tops of the feet down to the earth. I'm going to push back up into hands and knees. Nice and slow. And then take a few cat-cows or any other movement of the spine that feels good. And then slowly, because we're moving our spine in the opposite direction, slowly and carefully send the hips back for a child's pose. And in this child's pose, let's take our hands back by our hips, palms face up. Gives a little more rest to the shoulders since we've done so much opening, so many arms overhead. Just let them find softness and ease here. See if you can still hear your breath. Inhales and exhales against the yoga mat. And then come back up to a seated position. So we're going to take a nice, easy seated forward fold here with our legs out in front of us. So I have very tight hamstrings. So for me, that means I'm going to bend my knees here a lot. And I'm going to exhale and take my fold with a nice rounded back just like this. Now I know some of you out there are very flexible and you can fold that way with your legs straight. If that's you, go for it. All right? But everybody else, take a nice gentle fold with me here. Yeah. Now usually I ask you to fold with a flat back. Just today we're going to round. And that's why I'm saying a gentle fold, just something that stretches back out those back muscles in the opposite direction that they've been working. As you inhale, come back up to a seat. Slide your hips forward ever so slightly so that you have space to lie all the way down onto your back. And then draw the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a nice hug here. Hug the right knee in, stretch the left leg out long on the earth. Reach through both heels. And then switch sides. Hug the left knee in, stretch the right leg out long. Draw both knees back into the chest. Set the feet down on the earth about as wide apart as your hips. Let your arms rest by your sides. Press the feet down into the earth and begin to lift the hips up off the mat for a bridge pose. Yeah, so as you lift, once you get to the top here, you might like to even tuck your shoulders under to get a little more lift. Don't let the knees splay open. Keep them drawn in towards the midline. The weight onto the inner edges of the feet. And then stretch your right leg up off the earth so the right heel stretches out long in front of you. For 3, 2, 1. Return that foot to the mat and lower your hips down. Draw the knees into the chest. We'll set up for a second bridge here. Feet planted on the earth, arms by the sides. Inhale, lift the hips up to the sky. Shoulder blades tuck under. Press heavy through that right foot. This time it's the left leg that lifts, reaching through that left heel. Toes curl back towards the shins for 3, 2, lift the hips a little high. 1, release down. Draw the knees into the chest once more. Once again, we'll hug this right knee in while stretching the left leg long. Your left hand will come to hold this bent knee. The right arm rests beside you on the floor. We'll draw the left knee across the body into a twist. Towards the end of a yoga class here, we start moving into softness. We move from the active flow, the strength building, to the softer, calmer, almost more steady state. So if you find tension building anywhere in your body, like between the eyebrows and the jaw, see if with each exhale, and let a little bit go. As you inhale, unwind back through center. Draw both knees into the chest once again. And then hug this left knee in, stretching the right leg long. Use the right hand to draw the left knee across the body. Moving into your twist on this opposite side. As you inhale, come back through center here. Draw both knees into the chest once more. And then separate the knees slightly so that you can bring your arms in between the knees and the thighs. Take a hold of the outside edges of your feet here. And then press the soles of the feet up to the sky for happy baby pose. As you exhale, release down. And then stretch out on your mat for Shavasana, your final relaxation pose. So traditionally, our Shavasana is done with the legs stretched long, arms by the sides with the palms face up. But personally, I find that hurts my lower back. So your other option is always to bend at the knees and take the feet a little wider here. And then just let the knees rest in on each other. Or if there's another shape you like, the idea is just to find somewhere that you can rest comfortably for several moments. Once you've found that just right spot, feel your body sink down into the earth, and the earth rise back up to support you. And give yourself the gift here of a few moments rest. Bring some soft awareness back into your body with gentle movements in your fingers and toes. Reach the arms overhead for one final stretch. And then curl over to rest on your side and sideline child's pose for one final moment of no responsibility. Make your way to a comfortable seat with the hands together at the heart center. Take a moment to notice this space here where your fingertips make contact with each other. Notice your palms. A moment of stillness just to notice the sounds around you. Thank you all for making the time to be here and share your practice this morning with me, with each other. Whatever you find yourselves engaged in this weekend, may it bring you both fulfillment